this coming. Hello everybody and welcome to the Circle of Light. This is the first session where we'll be exploring a set of 12 themes to enhance our quality of life, enhance our experience of life, and to enable us to connect to deeply who we are and connect to our spiritual nature as well as our emotional, mental and physical nature, unlocking pathways to increase our quality of life and so that we can feel fully our life experience. Every moment that we go through, we can feel it more fully and more beautifully in life. And the first theme of 12 is truth. And essentially, all of these themes can boil into one. And that's one of the things about some of these shamanic maps. You find that there is a microcosm, the smallest part of it, and there's the macrocosm. And you see that the smallest part of something is identical to the biggest part of it. So it's a little bit, I don't know if you've ever seen the Mandelbrot sequence or fractal patterns. When you watch a fractal pattern, I'm going to put one up on YouTube and we're going to have a look so you can see what I'm talking about. Fractals are amazing. Let me share my screen and I'll get this screen up and I'll open up YouTube.
What makes Arcade tight is they have all these sound.
Give me a Mandelbrot sequence. There it is. So it's called the Mandelbrot set. And we just want to see it. Here it is. It's the Mandelbrot set. Can you see that? Thumbs up if you can't. Great. So that pattern was created by the scientist Mandelbrot scientifically using numbers and geometry. And like I said to you, you find the smallest particle is also equal to the biggest particle. So if you look inside here, you can see the same shape is just repeated over and over again into infinity. And actually, look there, you're only ever diving back into the same part of the same shape, but from another perspective.
Wow.
So this is
Would you please share this link?
Yeah, of course I will. The Mandelbrot sequence, look, that appears everywhere, that same pattern.
Yeah.
And how this was created was, it was created by adding in a particular calculation into a computer. And this happened if you display it graphically.
Wow.
And if you think about it as well, it's like the ancestral line. We pass on the same ancestral lineages to those who come after us, and we carry the ones from before us. So in a way, these frequently appearing patterns come through our ancestral lineage as well. And there's loads of different ways to view the Mandelbrot sequence. There's another one. You see that same circle with, it looks like a Buddha as well. It actually looks like, you know, the
fire.
And it's very fiery as well. Look, everywhere that same sequence and pattern is appearing. And the more you zoom in, the more all you see is that pattern. We're going to go back into it here. There it is again. Love the Mandelbrot sequence. So in terms of the list of themes we're going to go into, the themes are truth, strength, love, change, desire, wisdom, courage, freedom, creation, beauty, gratitude, and acceptance. You're going to find, as we go through truth, you're going to find parts of strength in truth. You're also going to find parts of love in truth. You're going to find change inside truth. Just as much as when we get to next month's theme, which is strength, you're going to find the same things within strength, just through different visuals. When you study astrology, you study the planets as separate identities. You study the signs, the star signs as separate identities, and you study the houses of the chart as separate identities. But when you look at them all together, you then begin to interpret and create a story more vividly about those things. And it's just the same with the different maps of the shamanic journeys. So our shamanic journey map number 1 was the Tree of Life. And our shamanic journey map number 2 was the Medicine Wheel. With that in mind, tonight we're going to work with the Medicine Wheel element of fire and the questions surrounding and realizations and discoveries about truth with the Tree of Life. So how are we going to do that? When you look through a deck of tarot cards, okay, I've got the wands from the tarot cards because they represent fire. When you look through the tarot cards, you've got a page, a knight, a king, a prince, and a queen, a king and a queen usually, right? The page represents earth of fire because it's the page of wands. The knight represents fire of fire because the knight is the fire in all of the different suits. The king represents usually air, so that's air of fire. And the queen represents water of fire. And the same 4 characters appear in all 4 suits. So constantly we're reading into blending how we're working with our lenses into non-ordinary reality. So today we're going to look through the lens of fire to explore truth. And we're going to allow the Tree of Life to take us to understand the higher truth of fire with truth, the ordinary day-to-day understanding of truth with fire, and the grounded underworld understanding of truth through fire. Now, when we look at things through fire, we're looking at things through passion, energy, and spirituality. So we're looking at questions about spiritual truth. We're looking at questions of passion and feistiness. We're looking at So feistiness and passion and truth make you into somebody like Kate, who likes to stand up passionately with fire for truth. So Kate has got a great passion for revealing and understanding and sharing what truth is to her. That's definitely truth through fire. Expressing truth through fire. When you have an argument at home with somebody You are also trying to get your truth through fire, through passion and fire. When you're really enthusiastic about an idea or a project or a concept and you're sharing it with everybody, you're sharing the truth, the essence of that through fire as well. And so we've got 3 levels to appreciate fire and truth. We've got the spiritual level, which is where we're at the top of the tree of life. We're experiencing the higher truth about fire and truth, the higher experience of fire and truth. The burning bush, you know, you've gone up to the mountain and you've found the burning bush, and the highest expression of truth and fire has anointed you on your head. So it's going to be like a burning spiritual truth that you understand and you feel and that you're bringing to be revealed. We've also got the middle realm fire of truth, which is your day-to-day sort of road rage, maybe your love of someone or something around you so much that you're just burning into action and desire to express it in the real world. You know, it's also like your sex life is fire of truth. How do you express your innate desire to please somebody or something physically? And then you've got the lower realm expression of fire. The lower realm expression of fire is a real transforming moment. It's like Pluto. In terms of astrology, Pluto has got at the centre of it a transformative burning fire, which when you touch it and you delve deep enough to find it, it burns you in such a way that you are transformed. It's also a little bit like an inner pain. Once you delve through the darkness of the underworld and you discover the fire of truth down in the underworld, it transforms you from the inside out. So the fire of truth from the top of the tree of life is going to transform you from the outside in. It's like a benediction and a blessing of fire which comes from outside and goes to the core of you, whereas the lower realm truth of fire is going to transform you from the inside out. And it's like another thought I had about this process of some truth is repressed within us. Some truth about ourselves we don't show. Sometimes we keep truth of who we are and what we feel and think repressed. Sometimes we keep our spiritual fire, our passion repressed within us, the truth of it. And sometimes we are massively expressing that as well. There's 2 sides to it. There's a positive and a negative. So we're going to go into a realm of consciousness with our shamanic journey that allows us to, first of all, perceive the fire, the passion, the spiritual urge, the identity, or perhaps whichever of those you wish to go and take a question in about fire. and we're going to get to the tree. The tree is going to invite us to come to top, middle or bottom. Price is right. You're going to go up into the heights of the tree to receive a realization which is just presented in front of you, a truth about yourself, a truth about something which is just going to astound you, and it's going to burn from the outside, and it's going to transform you from the outside in. In the middle of the tree of life, you're going to be presented with how fire and truth of fire, how you work with truth passionately on a day-to-day basis to express or receive truth through fire. This is with your family, your friends. How is your passion of truth expressed or received in the day-to-day reality? And then in the roots of the tree, you're going to find yourself in a treasure within yourself which is of truth and fire, which once you dare to touch it, will consume you from the inside out, and you'll be transformed by fire. So just to start off with, before we go into the main journey, I just think we should have a moment to connect with fire. So if any of you have got candles around you that you can light, go ahead and light a candle, because we're going to just connect with this element. Everyone's off to get a candle. I suppose I should go and get a candle out as well. Can't do it without me getting a candle. You know, it's typical, isn't it? Normally we've got bloody loads of candles anyway, and when it comes to actually wanting one. Right, we've got our candles. Beautiful. Right. Fire is amazing. It transforms, it gives life, it feeds us, creates things, and transforms us all in one. It's an element which is completely dynamic like that. So I'm going to share my screen and play a bit of music that's going to get us to connect with fire. Hang on, I need to make sure I've got sound sharing as well. Yes. Here we go. So breathe with the fire, with the candle flame. I'd just like you to look at the candle flame and project yourself into the candle flame. We'll do this for 5 minutes. Just project yourself into that candle flame. Maybe you want to visualize a stick person version of yourself walking into that candle flame. If that makes sense, you know, visualize yourself walking a path that joins you with the flame of the candle. So that you are breathing, feeling, merging and becoming one with the essence of fire. You are seeing with fire in all its beauty. And all of the responsibility of fire, containing, being the fire maiden, looking after the fire, ensuring it continually burns. And seeing where fire is needed. Perhaps there are areas that's just more difficult for you to imagine the fire appearing in. Allow the fire to appear through every part of you. And as it appears in you as one part, it also appears in the whole of everything for you. Just allowing fire to be with you. And allow the fire to reveal a truth in you. A truth is an experience. Allow it to leave you with a feeling of beauty, truth which cannot be shared, but truth which can be conveyed and expressed in beautiful ways, so that perhaps others may feel just a little glow of this flaming truth which you've received. just like to invite you both to express for us the truth of fire. How would you best express that, the truth of fire?
Do you mean the truth of fire that we just experienced with the candle, or do you mean the truth of fire to us?
I've just experienced a truth as I was connecting to fire. And the only way I can express it is that nothing can hide from the flames of transformation. And the feeling I had was that fire uses everything. It was like nothing can hide from me when I am present. I will discover everything that needs to be burnt, and I will use it as energy. I will clear it away. I will cleanse it. And the truth I cannot tell you, because the truth was the experience, but I can express it in that way by telling you what my expression of it is. How was fire for you both?
In the candle, I was sitting in my meditation pose and kind of swaying and dancing, really, really. I mean, you know how much I love fire. You know how much fire means to me in many different levels. When you asked me about where the fire wasn't, because obviously I'm seeing my image in the fire, and it was the throat, which obviously for private reasons you know about, but I don't want to say about. But so that actually confirmed that what we found out with different reasons, which totally makes sense. But for me, the fire was just a joy to be in. I love, and not really, although I have had, not really like in an angry way sort of fire, just excitement and joie de vivre and whatever. So the fire for me was the truth, the love of life, of nature, in particular of nature, my connection to it.
Lovely.
Thank you.
I'll just watching the flame dance really, and it did make us think about dancing and movement, and a lot of the time I link my dancing more with water, but seeing the fire and the way that like how it moves, and like you said, there's no hiding. Like the way that it moves is just how it is, and you can see it dancing around, and it's doing what's natural to it, and it made us think about passion, and it made us think about myself, and that passion is one of the things that I've always thought that I've had a lot of, and I kind of feel like I need to connect back with the fire more.
Braille.
I'm watching it.
Lovely. What like we've all had 3 different expressions of the feeling that we had about fire, and for me the feeling itself is the truth, and we can write endlessly, we can dance it, we can talk about it, we can sing it, we can express truth, but I wonder, are we ever really sharing the actual truth, or are we sharing our expression of it? What do you think?
I don't share my truth with very many people because I don't think many people would actually understand it or get it, or kind of accept that I experience certain things the way I do.
Yeah.
And that kind of, to a certain extent, concerns me, that I can't show my true self. You were saying earlier about showing your true self.
Repressing truth, yeah. There's a
Yeah, but
repressed and there's an expressed, yeah.
yeah, but sometimes actually, uh, I don't feel the need to be validated by anyone else to have my truth. You know, my truth is my truth,
Yeah,
and I don't know whether I need anyone else to know about it. I literally share it with maybe 3 people,
yeah,
um, and uh, and that comes to all things, you know, all things, not just spiritual things, all things. And it's not that I don't trust people; it's just that um, their responses to my truth might actually not be positive,
yeah.
and then they might think I'm a loony, which of course I am.
But we
Um,
protect ourselves,
yeah,
don't we?
yeah,
We do
yeah,
repress truth quite
yeah,
often to protect ourselves, and it's
yeah,
totally natural.
yeah,
We've also got every right not to actually share everything about ourselves.
yeah.
We've got every right to remain in mystery about who we are and what we really think. We've got every right to do that, just as much as
Yeah.
we've got the rights to express it as well. What are you thinking, Glynis?
Uh, well, I think I'm quite a private person with lots of things, and whether or not that's a choice or I don't know, shyness or what have you, but I know if I am passionate about something, it, people can people can feel that, like
Mm,
you, you know, even though if I'm not the best at words at expressing how I feel about something, when the fire's inside of it, is that's something when it's experienced between people, that
mm.
it is a positive thing, no matter how you express yourself. If there's fire within it,
Yeah,
like passion and what have you, you know, there's no,
yeah,
sometimes there's no hiding. It's a feeling that can be
yeah,
shared and passed positively between people if there's
yeah,
passion, fire.
yeah. I mean, I guess that the fire can, when truth meets the fire, you burn with the very essence of who you are, and it's felt through all of your actions, whatever you do. So when you are connected with your spirit and your fire and your passion to what you're sharing or what you're being, then everything that you do is coloured with that fire and that passion, isn't it?
My experience of Glynis on these um, things that we've been doing, I can't think of the word, you know, what we're doing right now. I would say she appears to be very passionate, and you can see the joy, her stories, you know, when she tells her meditations
Yeah.
and, you know, stories. I'm saying it like, because I'm not seeing her picture, I could say it if I could be
Oh, right. I
speaking to
wonder
her, you
if we
see.
can get Glynis
Yeah.
pinned so you
And
can
then I can speak
you
to
you're
Glynis
giving like a
herself.
reading on Glynis.
Yeah,
Glynis, you're having
yeah,
a psychic reading
yeah.
right now
There
by
you are. There
Kate.
you
You
are.
go.
So yeah. So rather than speaking through the third person, I find you very passionate, very joyful, and very beautiful. And that's why I want to come to your dance. You know, because I can just imagine it being amazing, just like being in Neil's company with his sound and whatever. You know, so I think you do express your fire to a really good extent, like, you know, a positive and joyful extent. So I think that you probably express more fire than you would imagine that you do.
Yeah. Oh, thanks for that. And I think it just reminds us a lot of the time that it is my internal fire that I need to remember or say, that other people can sometimes say that I can't say within myself, or know it's there, but you know, question it.
Yeah, 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 of course.
This is a gorgeous sharing and reflection of like fire and truth, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
And
it is.
so,
Yeah.
yeah, beautiful. Really amazing. We are going to go on to our shamanic journey, and the journey to the tree of life. I'd like you to take your essence of fire and truth, however that pictures for you in your mind now. Now that we've connected with fire and we've felt it in our bodies, we've reflected together as a group as well. I'd like you to allow that to become sort of like a seed. So imagine you're carrying that as a seed to the tree. And when you get to the tree, you've got your guides there at the tree. And I'd like you to either invite all of your guides in to look at the seed and tell them the story of the seed and see where that takes you. And you can pull the seed out and allow it to warp time when you go into this journey, and allow the seed just to start to magically grow really quickly, and see where that goes as well. You never know, perhaps it might turn into one of those fractals that I showed you at the beginning, where it just continuously repeats itself and expresses and go on a journey with it. Don't expect anything on your journey, just experience it, right? Just experience it, and then when you come back we'll reflect on the journey. Okay, are you both ready to take yourself across the field?
Yes. Are you? Yes, yes.
Taking yourself across that distant field, and you both know how to get there. Feeling in your body the knowing that you're about to take yourself on a wonderful journey. Calling forward your imagination to enable you to guide yourself through this journey. Calling in fire and truth to be present. Fueling you on a magical journey through non-ordinary reality, where you're just going to get to experience expressions of truth and fire. Go now. to the tree. Come back, come back, come back to me. And when you're ready, get your journal and write down what your experience was on that journey. Take some time to reflect, and then I'll stop the recording.